Do prepping videos give you anxiety? I think I have some messages today that will help. Welcome to the Wellness Homesteader. Stay tuned. So, yesterday I had an email conversation with one of my subscribers, and I won't call her name, but she said something so profound to me that I thought I should do a video. So, we were talking about a prepper type channel, and basically, she said, I leave the video with more worry slash anxiety than knowledge. And if that is the case, I really want to encourage you today to maybe think about skipping those videos or really just gleaning the useful information. And if it isn't useful, perhaps you might consider not watching it. So, as you all probably know, YouTube is this big mystery. It works on this mystery algorithm that nobody really understands. However, we do know that there is something called clickbait. So you put in the title, buy this now before it's illegal, or you won't believe what I just found out, those type things. But there's also keywords. And when folks are searching for, let's say, prepping type terms or current situation type terms, then YouTube will suggest that video to them based on their search criteria. So, words like this: SHTF, urgent, shortages, rationing, warning, purchase limits, empty shelves, it's coming, it's go time, it's a state of emergency, panic buying is emptying the shelves, red alert, wake up, World War III, food riots, inflation, devalued dollar. Even saying those words can be anxiety provoking. And what I want to say to you is that in some cases, people are making those videos because they feel led to and because they feel they're sharing the truth. And guys, in this day and age with our news, I don't know what's truth and what isn't. I'm sure we're not getting the whole truth. It's probably a good thing we're not getting the whole truth in certain circumstances. But there are other people who are simply going to make money off your panic, off your fear, off your anxiety. And that is really their purpose. Now, I'm not saying they're not preppers. I'm not saying that they don't have some conviction about what they're sharing, but they're making the money from YouTube. They may be making money from supported links. They may be making money from their own website. Whatever the case, kind of keep that in the back of your mind as you're watching these type videos. So, and I apologize, guys, my heat just cut on. Freeze warning, warning. All right. So my thoughts to you today, and this is really how I've had to center myself and find some peace. You are still in control of what you prep, how you prep, and how you are providing for your family, both now, yourself and your family, now, and in days to come. You're in control. It doesn't matter if they say you need to go buy a farm, you need to raise this kind of chickens, you better have animals, da-da-da-da-da. Number 2, no one knows your situation better than you. So we all have constraints. Maybe it's time constraints if you're working outside the home, or if you travel for your job. There are financial constraints. You know, for those of us who are living on Social Security income, there are physical limitations. I can't do what I used to do, y'all. I can't build a barn anymore. Never have built a barn, but I certainly couldn't do it now. There are environmental or even regulatory constraints. So, and I'm not trying to discourage you from prepping. I should have put that out there at first. But I have 1 acre. I am not permitted to do certain things with my 1 acre. A good portion of my land is woods, which I do not want to lose. So I'm limited by my physical environment. You also may be limited by your skill set. So maybe you're at a point in your life where you don't want to learn to can. You don't want to buy all the jars. You don't want to buy a canner. You would rather stock your shelves with pre-made food. And guys, there isn't any problem with that right now at any rate. Number 3, and I've done a whole video on this, prepare, but don't panic. Because you know what happens when you panic? You make hasty decisions. You may not be as financially responsible with the money that you do have on hand. Maybe it could be spent in a better way. So take a deep breath, use your head, do your research. And while I think we all feel a sense of urgency around certain things, just don't panic buy. If you are paralyzed with fear, you're not going to get anything done. And that brings us to point number 4. Stay busy, but live your life. Don't get so consumed with what might happen tomorrow that you don't enjoy today. We have had enough changes in our life. I kind of wonder if things will ever be normal since the V came along, where things were unavailable to us, or it was more difficult, let's say, to travel or visit in family groups or in groups of friends. So we've been through it. We're still maybe in it to a degree, and that's not what this video is about. But I do encourage you to live your life. Take time to do those things that you enjoy, that you can afford, that you're physically able to do, that are legal, all of those things. So I hope this little discussion kind of helped you out today and made you think, am I fearful and full of anxiety, or am I just preparing? So there's a couple more things we're going to do today. I'll close the sacred book. Guys, it's getting pretty full. When I have these brilliant brainstorms, this goes into my little, not all the wonder are lost, but I can replace the sections of paper which are called signatures. So today, you know, y'all, you guys just have to laugh at me. You know how you'll like get like your second burst of energy in the afternoon, and I do not drink caffeine beyond my couple cups of coffee in the morning. But in the afternoon, I will usually be like, I need to get this done, I need to get that done, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. So yeah, I placed a Walmart pickup order for 7 a.m. So y'all, right now it's 5:53 a.m. I've done all the things this morning, you know, watered my seedlings, fed the worms. They're doing great, guys. They are really bulking up, and they eat a lot. I'm surprised. The directions, and I'm using 3 different sources. I'm kind of combining it. Say about every 3 days. My worms are little piggies. They had pretty much eaten everything I gave them on Sunday, and this is early on Wednesday that I'm filming this. And no, I'm not ahead. So those are doing well. My seedlings are doing well. I have not tried my Arrow Garden seed starting kit yet because it's way too soon to start planting in the garden. I did another perusal of our frost-free date. Normally, where I am in Ohio, our frost-free date's around May 9th. The latest is May 20th. And, you know, if we have a light frost, I can cover things. But I'm not going to put anything in the ground, including seeds, unless they're cold tolerant, until May 20th. So I still have time. I still have a month from today. Pardon me. And y'all, if I've never told you this, I have chronic hiccups. So when you see me doing that, Yeah, I'll just hiccup once or I'll hiccup for 3 hours. Yeah, I don't know why. So I have my 7 a.m. Walmart pickup, but I want to share my haul with you. Um, it's kind of a weird haul. It's not a huge haul, but I'm just amazed at prices, guys. But one thing that is happening in my area, just a suggestion for you on prices, grocery store prices. Walmart's here. Here's the highway, which is not a super busy highway. Right across the street is the new Aldi, which by new I mean like 2 years old. It's new to me, right? But I am seeing Walmart taking advantage of those canned vegetables, canned soup, get here, prices going up at Aldi by leaps and bounds, and they're putting in some loss leaders. So maybe they get you in the store by saying, wow, we have vegetables for 48 cents a can, or 50. I got some condensed soup for 58 cents a can, pretty good deal. So they're undercutting Aldi, but yet some of the other things are so much more expensive, that's for sure. There are some limits, and there's also some lack of availability on odd products. So I'll share all that with you once I pick up my haul. And then, guys, we're going to do something really, really exciting. And I thought about making it a separate video, but I think instead of doing that, I'm going to lump it all in because it kind of fits along with prepping. So I have these cabinets that you see here that I have my home canned dehydrated food in. You've all seen, if you've been a long time subscriber, that I have an itty bitty pantry that's the size of Kleenex. That's a constant problem. Like when people come over and they think it's a coat closet, I'm like, no, 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 don't open that door, because it's pretty bad. It's overcrowded. When I emptied my mom's estate, she had all the things and it was still good, and so I kept it. Like I have 4 packages of baggies and 8 packages of aluminum foil. I'm exaggerating, but doubles and triples now of things, so I need to get that cleaned out. But in my first floor master is what this room is. It was my office when I was working. It's kind of been a catch-all room. And so I put my freeze dryer in it. I'm really happy with that. And I had some pantry shelves. But it was like playing Jenga to find certain things, because the shelving is deep, and because I was running out of space, I was putting multiple categories and nothing was labeled. So I have rectified that. It is a work in progress. I will share it as not Pinterest worthy. No criticism, please. So when I did my craft room clean out, I saved all the bins and I repurposed them in the pantry. So I want to show you what I've done. So stay tuned. It'll be a couple hours, and we'll be looking at what my Walmart haul is, and then I will take you into the pantry. So see you in a few. Well, we're back from Walmart. Frankie seems pretty enamored with the paper plates. So let me just share a couple things with you about the curbside pickup. Frankie, I think you overshot the sink, bud. Frankie likes to drink out of the sink, and that he's like, wait, how'd I get over here? All right. So I ordered the small paper plates, which is this size. And if they're out of what you order, they will substitute what they have in stock at the same price. So you can get some really good deals by doing the online pickup, and you can get some things that you didn't really intend for. Poo Pie, get out of the sink. It's got to be cold on your little puppies. Hey, you're just gonna, okay. If it fits, he sits. So, case in point, I have been using, and by the way, these are the Great Value brand paper plates. They are wonderful. I've been using the Ultra Soft facial tissues, and guys, these are so much less expensive than the name brand. And unfortunately, you don't get a paper receipt detailing each item, so I can't give you exact price on everything, but these are just as good as Kleenex in my opinion. I did get 2 dozen and a half eggs because I do have farm eggs coming, but sadly with the Azure Standard headquarters burning down on the 19th, I don't know if my delivery will be affected and if I will meet up with my farm egg supplier. So I'm glad I got these. Also, this stuff, guys, is pretty good. Now, is it like making a roast? No. But if you're thinking of a quick meal or having something on hand when you don't maybe have electricity, this would be a lot easier to heat up. It is $3.58 a can, and what I plan to do is take these no yolk noodles, some mixed veg, and you'll notice I do a lot of Great Value brand, and the beef, make a beef and noodles dish and put it in the freeze dryer. I also like the Great Value brand Southern Sweet Tea water drops. It's not tea, it's just a flavoring. These are going up in price. They're about $3.50 a bottle. It does last me quite some time, but I'm a heavy liquid consumer. So out of mustard, out of like yellow mustard, I have spicy brown. These, I think, are just as good as the Ritz or any of the little butter crackers. Box of that. Some Great Value sharp cheddar. Some Great Value mozzarella. Here's another example. Guys, I guarantee you I did not order 2 pounds, but that's what I got. And so sometimes if they don't have the 1 pound or they don't have a 1 pound in a comparable brand, they will give you a larger quantity. I splurged on some $6.98 Hormel Black Label bacon. Very, very good. This is kind of a treat for me, but I wanted to have some on hand. This is also an interesting thing. I ordered 2 of the 4-pound bags of shredded hash browns. Now you may be thinking, oh my word. And what I ended up getting is 2 small bags and a big bag because that's what they had on hand. Since these are already washed, peeled, shredded, and blanched, these can go directly into the freeze dryer and then be jarred up so that you have ready-made hash browns that you just rehydrate and then you can cook up. I mean, it would be the same in the freezer, but having limited freezer space. And this is a good option for me as well. So I'll have to do a video on that. I have been buying the Great Value brand Chunk Light Tuna. It's a great meat to have on your shelf for quick meals or for prepping. And then 2 cans of the Great Value cream of mushroom, 2 of the tomato for my 1-pot spaghetti. And I will tell you all, these are 58 cents a can. And then my final purchase was another flat. These are unfortunately regular mouth mason jars, quart mason jars, $11.98, and I will be putting my hash brown potatoes in there. So before we get into the pantry, I just wanted to share a couple things that I failed to say at the beginning of the video and probably should have. I am not trying to criticize any channel. Every person has to put up content that they believe is relevant to their channel. So again, not a criticism, not singling anyone out. I'm just providing you with maybe a different way to think of it if you're prone to anxiety, as I am. So I have sort of a hodgepodge pantry. And let me share with you guys, this is, again, not Pinterest worthy, but you know what? It really works for me. So I'm standing in what is my first floor master. This used to be my office when I was working, and y'all have to see this. Now, it is the pantry. He's kind of camouflaged. Can you see? Frank, did you fall asleep in the chair? Is that your new chair? Oh, and I'm showing you all my mess. So, this room has never been a bedroom. It does have a full double closet in it. That chair is was my dad's. It's for my son. Or Frankie, I guess, now. So what I have done, y'all, I did not do this in a day, a week, a year. This has taken several years, but that's not to discourage you. That's just to say, here's an idea of how you can do it on a budget that it functions well for you. And I've reconfigured it many times as far as how I have the shelves laid out. So this is just a suggestion for you. I purchased two over time of the Muscle Rack shelves, and then I have two heavy duty shelves, but two are the Muscle Rack brand, which I have looked and looked, and the cheapest place I can find it is walmart.com. The shipping is free. Right now, the 4-foot by 2-foot by 6-foot, trying to judge, is on sale for $96 plus tax, which is a very good deal. It's normally, well, when they first came out, it was more like $200. They're normally about $140. So it's going to save you $45, $44, something like that. So that is a suggestion for you. Really, what I recommend that you need to keep in your pantry is a pair of scissors. This is very practical, guys. A Sharpie dude. And some sort of label system. Now, it doesn't have to be an electronic labeler. I've had this for years and years and years and years and years. This is nothing new. You could simply take stickers. You'll see on some of my containers, I wrote directly on the container because Sharpie will come off of most things with rubbing alcohol. So when you bring in items for your pantry, if you don't want to keep them in the plastic, you're putting them into jars. You have scissors to cut them open. You have a Sharpie for labeling. You also have your label maker. So that's just something that stays in here all the time for me. So let me pause you because I'm going to have to take the camera off the tripod and kind of peruse this up and down. Now, also, another disclaimer. The purpose of this, guys, is not to say, look at me, I'm so prepared, or you need to have this. That is not it at all. This is what works for me, and if I need to help my family, what would help my family. So I may have things in here that you say, well, that's not organic, or that's not healthy, or I would never buy it. But in a situation where food could be extremely expensive or perhaps unavailable, so unaffordable, unavailable, of what you want, it's always good to have extra, right? And if I never need to use this in the event of an emergency, I could probably go quite some time without going to the grocery store. So hang on a minute. I'm going to reposition things and I will share with you what I've done with my makeshift pantry. Stay tuned. Just to give you a broad overview, one muscle rack, two smaller shelves that sit in an alcove, and then another muscle rack that I can get to from both sides because there's a closet there. So what I simply did was take bins that I had on hand and labeled them. I labeled the shelving, so baking supplies, overflow grains, nuts and dried fruit. My buckets, I just wrote on because it was way simpler. These are pre-grounds. On the bottom shelf are whole grains for my grain mill. For here, milk and milk products, so things like creamer, shelf-stable milk, evaporated milk, sweetened condensed, buttermilk powder, non-fat dry milk. I have all the honeys and all of the maple syrups, canning supplies, different types of salts, vinegars, lemon juice. And then down here, just overflow sugars. Up here, and this is one of the reasons I say it is not Pinterest worthy, what I did was I just took whatever I had and I separated out my cleaning products. Yeah, I have a thing about cleaning products. So bath and furniture, floor care, wipes and scrubs, multi-surface cleaners, sponges and cloths, hand and dish soap, and Frankie's ever famous Iams. Here I put my protein powder and different supplements, the herbs that I dry for my soaps, some health and beauty products. Now this shelf has pasta, some pre-boxed, pre-made things, and I do not eat instant mashed potatoes normally, but in a pinch it would be great. I have these because they're great in bread. I have some breakfast items, all the Jiffy Corn muffin mixes, condiments, oils, nut butters, nut powder, And on the bottom, laundry, beverages, and some prepackaged cake mixes. Over here I have soups, fruits, store canned vegetables, and then some overflow of my home canned products. On the bottom shelf, store-bought tomato, canned meats. I don't have a ton of that. There is some manwich here too. This shelf, I am keeping some of the items I don't use a lot, and I do want to give a shout out. Guys, look at this incredible bowl, and there's actually 2 big stainless steel bowls. Thank you, Norm and Peggy from Crazy for Retro, for my birthday present. This will get much use come garden season. So my kombucha supplies, if I ever get into it, I need making supplies. Some of these I didn't get stuck down good. I just put these in that I need to label. So paper goods, and then I put overflow of a lot of my small appliances for vacuum sealing my grain mill, etc. Some home freeze-dried food, some store freeze-dried food, all the beans and grain, lentils, things like that. On the bottom, this is kind of my emergency supply. So this is 21 gallons of water, some life straws or personal water filters, some extra matches, my fire starters, some batteries. So as you can see by labeling the shelves, I can really find things now. So up here I just have some overflow of jars. These are some of my freeze-dried products. I have spinach, I have eggs, I have strawberries, I have apples. And then again, I can go to the back and access some of my organic grains. There's barley, there's kidney beans, pinto beans, all the beans, and some rice as well. I hope this gave you some inspiration, maybe some ideas about ways that you can build a long-term pantry if space has been one of your constraints in expanding your pantry in these uncertain times. Drop me a comment below. What do you think, guys? I'm kind of proud of it. So I'll tell you a little funny. You know me, I always got to talk about myself. The sweater won't stay buckled. So, Walmart.com. I thought they would bring it to the front door, which is literally, 10 steps from here. Oh no. They back in like they're on a Mission Impossible incognito mission and lean it up against my garage door, which you can't raise the garage door because this shelf weighs over 100 pounds in the box and it's compacted all together, right? So I had to get the box turned over on my toe, just saying. And I literally, where it fell in the garage, because I was able to get it into the garage, I had to bring it in piece by piece. So then I'm like, wait, where's the... Y'all won't believe this. Where's the directions? It seems there were no directions. And I had noticed when they dropped the delivery, the box was open. But it looked like everything was like jammed in there, so I didn't think I'd lost anything. So I wasn't terribly worried about it. So, having built one before that is identical, guys, I did it by myself. I did it without directions. I did not have to take anything apart. I'm extremely proud of myself, can you tell? So a little bit later, I went out, and this was yesterday, I went out to get my mail. And it's been snowing here for 2 days. In the flower bed, covered in water and mulch, are the directions that flew out of the box. And I did peruse them, and yes, I put it together correctly. So it seemed like all the forces were against me yesterday, but I was like, no, I'm determined. So what I am going to do is continue to build out a few things from my little pantry so that it can breathe. I'm about halfway there. I can't show it to you guys. It's so bad. Not yet. But at any rate, yeah, drop me a comment below. What do you think of my new pantry? Did this give you any good ideas? Do you have any suggestions for me? Because believe me, I know I don't have all the ideas. I hope you found today's video helpful, soothing, inspirational, and not at all anxiety provoking. So if you haven't already, I'd greatly appreciate it if you'd smash that like button. And as always, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and I will see you all real soon. Take care.